next guest, I always look forward to having here. He is a professor of astronomy and space sciences at Cornell, director of the Laboratory for Planetary Studies. He's written a best-selling and fascinating book called The Dragons of Eden. Would you welcome, please, Dr. Carl Sagan. Your name was discussed on this very show last night. We had Ray Bradbury with us, who's a science fiction writer, and we were talking about being out at Jet Propulsion Laboratory and so forth. Yep. Well, what's new in space, Carl? See, I like to condense the subject down real quickly and don't start off too big. Yeah, I know. I think I saw a comment of yours. I know there was in Time or Newsweek. Somebody had asked you about the pictures that are out now. There's Star Wars, Close Encounters, and so forth, and they ask you what you thought. And you thought that they should be, not that you didn't say they were entertaining, but you thought maybe they should deal a little closer with scientific facts.
Yeah, my sense of them is that sort of the 11-year-old in me loved them, but they could have made a better effort to do things right. A lot of different aspects of things. Star Wars starts out saying it's on some other galaxy,
right?
And then you see there's people. And starting in scene one, there's a problem because human beings are the result of a unique evolutionary sequence based upon so many individually unlikely random events on the Earth. In fact, I think most evolutionary biologists would agree that if you started the Earth out again and just let those random factors operate, you might wind up with beings that are as smart as us, and as ethical and artistic and all the rest, but they would not be human beings. That's for the Earth. So in another planet, different environment, very likely to have human beings.
Are you saying on another galaxy, it's not possible that there could be...
It's extremely unlikely that there would be creatures as similar to us as the dominant ones in Star Wars. And there's a whole bunch of other things. They're all white. The skin of all the humans in Star Wars, oddly enough, is sort of like this.
Right.
And not even the other colors represented on the Earth are present, much less greens and blues and purples and oranges.
They did have a scene in Star Wars with a lot of strange characters.
Yeah, but none of them seem to be in charge of the galaxy. Everybody in charge of the galaxy seemed to look like us. And I thought there was a large amount of human chauvinism in it. Also, I felt very bad that at the end, the Wookiee didn't get a medal also. You know, all the people got medals, and the Wookiee who had been in there fighting all the time, he didn't get any medal. And I thought that was an example of anti-Wookiee discrimination.
You're dissecting this scientifically, Carl, taking all the fun out of it for me.
Well, that's it. I mean, you can view these pictures entirely uncritically.
Well, that's really what it was. It was a shootout, wasn't it? A Western outer space, sort of good guys versus the bad guys.
So my sense is that every picture which touches on science could do that, and at the same time, just a little more effort to get the science right.
I remember one comment you made was about allusion to speed when it really had to do with distance.
Yeah, that's right.
The parsec or something.
Solo, that's right. Talked about getting to a certain place in only so many parsecs of time.
No, speed.
When it's unit of distance, it's like saying that from here to San Diego is 30 miles an hour. It just doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. How many people were sitting there that figured that out during the picture?
All you got to do is hire one impoverished graduate student. Get all the facts right.
I can tell you that. When Ray Bradbury was on here last night, and I think I've asked you this question before, because if I remember in Star Wars, they got up and they got in the spaceship and they were beyond the speed of light, right?
Yep.
Now, as far as I guess science knows, that is supposed to be the finite limit of velocity, is the speed of light, and nothing could go faster than that. And yet in this picture, they were going faster than that. And I asked Ray, I said, what would happen? I think I asked you the same question. If they found something that was beyond the speed of light, how wouldn't that change all of the whole physical conception of what's going on?
A lot of people are sort of annoyed that physicists should lay any constraints on what we could do in the future. But I think the way to look at it is something like this. This is all due to Einstein. I mean, it has to be laid at his lap. All the people who are annoyed at not being able to travel faster than the speed of light. It's simply this. If no material object can travel at or beyond the speed of light, then a great deal of things in the world that are understandable quantitatively in detail, the universe makes sense. if it were possible to travel faster than the speed of light, then all of that comprehensibility breaks down, and there are a lot of awkward things that can happen, such as effects preceding causes. If you see what I mean. The light goes on, and then you walk to the switch to turn it. And
Wasn't there a famous poem about that after Einstein? There was a young lady from Bright
named Bright who could travel
much faster than light. She
set
left
out one day in a relative way and returned the preceding night.
Right, that's the one. That was little Carl Sagan reciting. And now let's hear our next student. Very good, Carl. You may take your seat. We'll be right back after this and talk about some... We're talking about Star Wars during the commercial. I said, you realize Star Wars made over $200 million? And he said, you could go to a planet for $200 million, right?
It's true, that's what it costs.
And see it live, right?
Unless you don't coach, you will.
That's right, and then you get that one little trade dinners and it's lousy. We've talked about this before, but the fascination is still mind-boggling. You're involved now with looking for extraterrestrial intelligence, right? For the committee. How do you go about looking for?
Well, there are a number of popular ideas.
How would you know it? I mean, that they were. Maybe we couldn't comprehend what they were trying to tell us. Is that a possibility?
Sure, but it's a little like this. If you're an advanced civilization and you wish to communicate to a backward civilization, you talk slow and simple. And
obviously we would be the backward civilization because we do not have that capability of
well,
doing
we've just emerged. Our technology just barely has come to the point where we're able to send spacecraft to probe in a halting, attentive way the nearby planets, and in which we're able to construct large radio telescopes to see if anyone is sending us a message. And it's this latter end of things that for the first time is now being funded at a quite low level, but the first operational program that NASA has funded is in the present budget. And the idea is simply to look at a lot of stars or carve up the sky into little pieces and look at each piece and see if there's a message coming to us. Now,
even the nearest one would be...
Well, nearest star is more than 4 light years away, so if we got a message today, it left that star 4 years ago. But, we ought to be used to that kind of idea. You look at the sun, you're not seeing it now, you're seeing it 8 minutes ago, because it took 8 minutes for light to travel at the speed of light from the sun to the Earth. The question of how you would recognize a signal as intelligent, suppose you heard something which said beep, 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 and went through the first 30 or so prime numbers.
That's an answering service. In other words, you go through the numbers.
Yeah, and there's no natural process which, would say 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17. Unless I missed one, the first few prime numbers. And so you would say, well, if here's somebody who for some reason is into prime number is a number that can only be divided by 1 in itself.
Right.
Here's somebody who's into prime numbers. They've attracted our attention. There must be more to it than just prime numbers. And then you would look more closely. Sort of
so you figured the signals you would get would be in some kind of mathematical...
Well, it would be so regular.
Which is the universal type of...
Yeah, that you could only say, the only possibility would be that it was intelligent, and then you would look for the more detailed message, either at faster time resolution or at some adjacent frequency or something of that sort. The remarkable thing is that for all of the history of mankind, people have wondered about intelligence elsewhere. I think it's in religion and philosophy, legends. But this is the first time that we have the competence and ability to actually do such a search, and we're just beginning.
Are we sending out from here some kind of, outside of the thing that the plaque that you put on the Mariner or Pioneer?
Pioneer, and then the Voyager record, which we
and the record.
Talked about once.
Are we sending any type of radio signals?
Not really. There was one sort of ceremonial demonstration at the resurfacing of the Arecibo Observatory in 1974. A signal was sent by Frank Drake, who's getting married in 2 days. I thought I mentioned that. But to a place that's 24,000 light years away. That's not a, so if there's an answer, it'll be in 48,000 years. Don't hold your breath. That was merely
That's really being on hold, isn't it? Wow.
It was merely to demonstrate that it could be done. But in general, radio stars have not sent out, just have listened. But there are signals that are sent out, including this program.
I was going to just exactly what I was saying. Is it true that all shows, television, radio shows, that are sent out travel forever through the whole?
Yep, they do.
They do not diminish in...
Well, they do. They diminish by what's called the inverse square law, so it goes twice as far, it's a quarter as intense.
But somebody with a receiver...
With a powerful and receiving antenna. And
so all the television shows and radio shows that are broadcast...
The Earth turns, so
right.
They get jumbled up.
But are still traveling through the cosmos.
So it's a little bit like this. You imagine here's the Earth, and around it is a kind of spherical wavefront traveling at the speed of light. It's now about 30 light years away from the Earth because the first large-scale commercial television was 30 years ago. And in there is the television programs of the late 40s. Howdy Doody, Milton Berle, the Army McCarthy hearings, and other signs of high intelligence on the planet Earth.
Somebody could be seeing Burl right now, walking around on the sides of his feet, 30 like in a dress.
And judging us.
And judging us, saying, well, Og, I think we got troubles down there.
I just hope they wait till Sesame Street arrives. It'll save us.
That's fascinating, the idea that goes out there.
The actual situation is that even if the programs could not themselves be made out, there's no question that a low form of intelligent life on the Earth could be deduced in that way.
If you had to make what I guess a calculated guess or theorize, when do you think it would be, if you think it would happen, when would it happen? Within a period of 10 years, 20, 50 years?
See, it depends on how much of an effort we make. If we make no effort, the possibility of detecting such signals is small. If we make a big effort, then the probability goes up, and nobody knows to what.
Now, people are going to ask you, you say because this could cost money. You say, okay, you hear from somebody 10 light years away. But by the time you transmit back and forth, what is the value of that? I mean, if you have to sit around and wait for 50 years or 100 years to get an answer, they're saying, why? What are you talking about? 100 years from now, who the hell is going to care? We're going to be gone.
Well, there's a lot of answers to that. It's a good question, but it's one worth pondering. For one thing, there's a lot of information in human society which goes only one way. Socrates talks to us. We don't talk to Socrates. That's what books are about. People who are dead convey their wisdom to us.
Somebody could transmit the knowledge of another planet and just send the direct knowledge.
Think of that. Think of a civilization on a different planet evolved under quite different circumstances than here. What is their art like, their music, their science, their technology, their politics? What have they learned? Have they been in contact with still other civilizations? Do they have a repository of such information? Think of how we'd be able to view ourselves in a new way, suddenly to have a new perspective. There's another aspect to it too, and that is we are at a very dangerous moment in human history. We have weapons of mass destruction. We are in the process of inadvertently altering our climate and exhaustion of fossil fuels and mineral, all kinds of problems which come with technology. We are not certain that we will be able to survive this period of what I like to call technological adolescence. Were we to receive a message from somewhere else, it would show that it's possible to survive this kind of period, and that's a useful bit of information to have.
Well, wouldn't it be something? In other words, somebody has solved a particular problem we are still wrestling with.
It's good to know that the problem could be solved. I think it would be very, very useful information.
Or some of the medical breakthroughs, some way to end wars or something like that.
Maybe. Medical breakthroughs are tougher because I suspect our physiology would be quite different from that of many other creatures, if there are some. Also, it's possible that you'd make such a search and the results would be negative. That's perfectly possible. You don't want to prejudge the outcome. But it seems to me that's an important bit of information also.
Right.
It turns out that life, intelligent life, is rare. That makes something particularly precious and valuable about life here.
But isn't it true when you talk about 50 light years or 100 light years in astronomical terms, that is a minute distance?
It's true.
I mean, now you can get into thousands of light years and millions of light years.
That's right. A light year is about 6 trillion miles. The distance to the nearest star, as we said, is about 4 light years. The distance to the center of the Milky Way galaxy that we're part of is 30,000 light years. The the distance to the nearest galaxy is about 2 million light years.
Fascinating book, The Dragons of Eden, and of course you still got The Cosmic Connection, which is one of the all-time fascinating books. Thanks for being here. It is always a great kick. Lady Gaga.
Thanks for tuning in.